first off, huge congratulations on this beautifully allegorical film, which really reminds me of the power of storytelling. Um, so before we dive into it, because there's so much to discuss,
Yeah.
I'd love to know when and how you first fell in love with storytelling, or rather its power to create empathy, to connect, to educate.
I would probably say when I was a lot younger, I always did the school play, as it were. Um, and for me it was I'd probably say there was one time where I played Alice in Wonderland. I was cast as Alice in Wonderland. And my school did a really cool adaptation where there were like five of us. And so, when she grew, it was me, because I'm
Uh-huh.
quite then I remember one of the younger kids coming up to me and being like, wow, like I loved you in that because you didn't look like everybody else. And
Mm,
I was like, oh my goodness. And I was like, how old was I? I was like 13, I
right.
very young.
Mm,
Um, and suddenly I was sort of just hit across the face with the power of like what that is. And and then kind of from there, I was like, wow, all right, how far can we push that?
mhm.
Um, Along with, the craft, I suppose, and the fact that I just genuinely enjoyed it. Um, and yeah, I'd probably say that's my answer.
Mhm.
Um, and then seeing myself, because I didn't really think it was, I didn't really think it was like a thing that was attainable by anyone. I thought actors were just these like mystical creatures that arrived when I was like 8,
Mhm.
Um and I actually ended up seeing Zoe Saldana in Avatar.
Mm.
That was when I was like, oh wow, you can like do this as a job and like look like me-ish and like kind of, and then all of that
Yeah.
kind of tied together for me just to want to, do it.
Yeah. Oh, I love that so much. It's funny because I'm back home and I haven't been back home in a while. I've been thinking a lot about local theater, community theater,
Mm.
and sort of that magic that happens when you are that age, when you're young and you start making these sort of little connections. And sometimes you don't even know how to vocalize it at first, but you feel it in your kind of body. And then just like how it can grow from there. And it's just like you start to realize the power of it all. So I love that story. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, no, sure.
Okay, Abby. You play Abby in The Occupant, who's an engineering geologist surviving a plane crash in the wilderness. Um, so intense. Um, it's incredibly intimate, though, watching Abby alone trying to survive. And the stillness of that isolation really allows for a lot of reflection and meditation on life and death, especially for the audience as well. Can you talk about exploring her painful but also very beautiful journey toward confronting grief, especially in such a kind of harsh environment?
So initially, when me and Hugo, the director, sat down sort of on production day one when we were in Georgia, the country.
Mm.
Um, I was like, why did you write this? I was like, you can say, like you were right. There's a story you wanted to tell it, great. But like, why did you write this?
Yeah.
And he like told me this very emotional um story as to, what he'd been experiencing in his life. And immediately that just kind of made me go, this is where we need to give this like the justice it really deserves.
Mm.
And I think no, and having him be so honest and like just soul bearing with me about that, I kind of looked back at him and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be soul bearing with you. I'm like, here's how I'm feeling right now. Here's if I'm on set and I've got to, lead the production and be positive around the crew and keep spirits high, but like around you, like if you see me like kind of not truly having the best time in the world because we're on the side of the mountain. Like, let's use that. Let's use that. And like, let's use your story that you have that you want to translate into this. Use that. Let me be the conduit for that and really push me to those places because I mean, unless you want to go and do a, a bio, like, what is it,
Mhm.
biographical film
Mhm.
of what you've been through, let me be the channel for that for you. And I think that was how we really like attacked it, to be honest. Really using how we were feeling in an environment that was very easy to feel those emotions, to be quite honest with you. That loneliness, that isolation, the physical, how physically taxing it was. Um, Even just being around, a crew that, was so resilient and worked so well together, but with them speaking a different language, even that feels like quite isolating.
Mhm.
So I think that was one of the ways we really just got down to that very quiet, quite painful reality. Um, and I want to add to that and say this character isn't like saving the world, which you normally have these, great big plane crashes and they gotta go and give the serum to the doctors and like it's something like that.
Right, right.
But this is she's not saving the world by any means. She's, if anything, most people could look at that and see the scenario that she's in, especially with her sister, and be like, what's the point of all of this effort?
Mm.
And but that is the whole point, that for some reason as humans we will put ourselves through that. And this character isn't she isn't perfect at all because she slowly starts to realize the more she struggles, the harder this is getting, for her to kind of confront what she really needs to confront,
Mm.
um, which is actually quite selfless. Um, so yeah, I think that was like, if I'm like gonna really like summarize it all up, I think
Mm.
it's we were just so real and truthful and like soul bearing in this process, which is something I haven't really experienced before.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I have so many thoughts. Well, first off, I could feel all of that. Because it felt so stripped back and like I said, intimate. I felt so connected to her through this journey because it is soul bearing. And like I said, it allows the audience to reflect and to have those moments of stillness to really question, as she's questioned with, is what is a life worth living? Um, and to find that strength and vulnerability and to truly gift us with the moment, with that moment to ask ourselves these really hard questions that I think is the foundation of humanity. And and it was just exquisite. It reminded me a lot of The Abyss, where it's, there's these sci-fi elements, but in reality, stripped back, it's just so deeply human, relatable, you know, oh my gosh, I
Ex-
can't say it.
Yeah, yeah.
Existential.
Me too, every time, to be honest.
Which is, and that's a testament to this collaboration that you're describing, saying, hey, man, like we got to go there.
Yeah,
We got to
yeah.
go there. And like that sacrifice, and an understanding emotionally and physically, what was like kind of needed is profound. And it's what then gives us this beautiful film.
Yeah, truly. And it's like you can tell too, like the cinematographer, the camera operator, Robbie, Brahm, like they all, even the first AD, Toby, everyone had something to say with their piece of the art, with the way it's shot. It looks like a nature documentary if I
Mhm,
wasn't in it. It's just it's
mhm.
stunning. The way it's lit, the just to have those vast expanses and contrasted with, these quiet suffering moments. You
Hmm.
know, just everything about everyone really put their heart down in this. And I'm like even like a bit nervous to like talk about it because it was just such a near spiritual experience
Right.
shooting the thing. So
Precious. It's precious.
yeah.
It's precious, and then to share it is nerve-wracking. But I'm so glad that y'all shared it, and I'm so excited to share it with others. And um, yeah, it is so interesting too. Like to your point about like saving the world and like superheroes and all of that. A lot of it starts off with someone like not really knowing their strength and then finding it along the way and like getting the courage to do the thing. But with this, it's like it's so cool, especially I think for a female character, and not to gender it, but it is true. Like to see her, we know right off the bat that she's strong, she's intelligent, she's she's a survivor. Like we understand that. We know that she's got the grit. Like we know that she has got the grit.
For
And then
sure.
it's so powerful than watching her kind of again toward the end finding that strength and vulnerability.
But yeah, she
Oh,
literally learned like not try so hard to be able to just get closer to peace.
yeah.
I think there's, like I can definitely find a lot of parallels with me in that. Um, and I think there's the whole thing of a situation plus resistance equals the problem. And
Mm-hmm.
you that's what creates a problem. And the second she starts stripping back that resistance is when the problem kind of starts falling away. Sure, there's still a situation, but she tackles it differently. The emotional response is different. The self-realization is massive. Um, and yeah, just really proud of how like just quiet and humble and just truthful the finish to this movie is because it feels real.
100%. It feels the most real. It's devastating, but it's peaceful. It's heartbreaking, but it's beautiful. It's life. It's
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? It's the coexistence of all of it. And oh, she can finally coexist with her sister. She can finally love her. She can finally grieve for her and love her at the same time and remember her, but also it's like she allows all of the emotions to kind of flood and accepts all of them. And it doesn't make it easier,
No,
but
it doesn't.
no, doesn't make it easier, but there's peace in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, that last frame is just gorgeous. How was that filming for you? I'm sure it was,
That scene in particular,
yeah,
that
in
was
bed.
yeah, that was pretty hard. And the crazy thing too was that because we filmed that whole section of the house scenes was shot in Ireland.
Mm.
Um, my dad actually lives in Ireland, so he was there visiting me on set when we filmed that.
Hmm.
The character is there with her dad, and then I was there with my dad. It was
A
just like a
lot.
lot. It was just a lot. There was a lot of serendipity in filming this project.
Right.
Even at one point, because there's the big murmuration, which obviously starts the whole thing off pretty much.
Hmm.
There's shots, no joke, couple of shots where there's me with the big expanse and the sky, and then like a murmuration of birds would fly by.
Oh, wow.
And
Oh,
we're like, are you joking?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
save 5 grand in the edit. Sick. But still, it was like, it just felt oddly like it all tied together the way it needed to, which was really cool in filmmaking when that happens.
I think too, when like art is truthful and you're putting everything you've got into something, especially art, like weird shit like that starts to happen.
Yeah, it is. It
You know
is
what I'm
phenomenal.
saying? It's like,
You
Yeah.
start finding things that you wouldn't have, there's a difference between if you're traversing a massive here, for example, the scene in the when Abby falls into the ice lake,
Mm.
right?
Hmm.
Very easy to kind of do that, be like, and then oh, there you go, that's my light. And be like, oh, get me, get me out, right?
Right.
So what actually ended up happening when we were shooting that, I was like, listen, I'm like, I think this is a very human thing of me to say, but like, I really wanted to shoot that once. I don't want to do
Yeah.
that again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, let's just get this and absolutely nail it for multiple reasons. Um, and what ended up happening was we we got to that point, fell into the water, and I was like, right, action stations, let's go. I was struggling, selling the struggle, as it were, of being in
Hmm.
this of this uh water. Suddenly I realized as it was time to pull myself out, I was struggling so hard that I actually started melting the ice around me. So when I
Oh,
was actually trying to pull myself out, I actually couldn't get out.
right. Oh, that's so scary.
Ice is breaking as I'm
Hmm.
getting onto. So that was like a real like me having to like dig my nails into the ice to pull myself out was like real because I need an act like there was no I was like I'm actually freezing, get me out of this
Yeah.
water.
Oh my
And
God.
Hugo's like, he was like, yeah, once you're out, we're gonna call cut, we're gonna get you a warm jacket, we're gonna get you da, 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 and we'll move on to the next section. And there was a logo, like a weird, unspoken moment where me, Brown, the cinematographer, Robbie, camera operator, first AD, Toby, Hugo, director, all of us were like, we need to keep rolling right now. Like, we need to keep rolling. I'm on the ice. I'm struggling. I'm never felt cold like it because honestly, I will say this much. Cold water, it's like an ice bath, right?
Oh,
It's the
oh.
second you are out
Yeah.
in the wind,
Right. Yes.
that was where I was like, okay, we've only got a certain amount of time until we start getting into like hypothermia land.
Right. Right.
We were like in the snow, cameras up, and then I'm like, I am lost, I'm disoriented. And we just start walking out into this completely uncharted snow area.
Right.
The area we filmed that actual stunt in, the day of, there has to go be a team who has to go and drill down,
Mhm.
see how deep the ice is. Like it's a whole health and safety thing.
Yeah.
We were like, you know what? We just need to get this. So like the whole walking out afterwards was
Right.
just us being like, we're being really irresponsible, but we're getting the shot.
Right.
So,
Right. Right.
so and then we just kept going and going and going into a point where now I was like, okay, actually I can't feel my fingers anymore.
You're
We
like,
need to
now I need the blanket. You're like, now I need
go.
the blanket.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's
There's like,
exhilarating though. It's like you're just,
yeah.
wow. Okay, I need to rewatch it now to
But now that you
really,
know, yeah, there is a completely I think there are cuts in the final edit, but
right, right. Oh,
you
I
could
can't
watch
quite
it.
remember like exactly what happens after she gets out of the wa I need to rewatch it. I'm
That
gonna
part's
rewatch it.
a spoiler. We can't say that bit. After she gets out and then she starts walking, the bit that happens afterwards is a spoiler. We can't say that bit.
Yes, no, no, no.
But yeah, there's
Wow.
somewhere a oneer of that whole scene, and it's
Incredible.
pretty cool. I'm very proud of it.
Oh my gosh, as you should be. I want to quickly talk about the fact that you're an executive producer on this. Congratulations. Incredible. How has sort of stepping, behind the camera producing changed your creative process and creative possibilities for yourself moving forward?
So I think the best thing about this being executive producer,
Mm-hmm.
but like first go at it, was that it was, and I think it's kind of natural for me to say this. This role in particular has like no vanity. So there was like no like, I don't want to wear that. Like there was no vanity in this role. So that wasn't like part of the executive producing decision making.
Mm-hmm.
As an actor, I'm very technical. So I'm very concerned about continuity. I'm very concerned about like the angle, where the light is. If I'm just, I don't know, I just enjoy that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I remember there'd be times on set in other productions where I'd noticed something that is like overtly technically incorrect about a scene,
Hmm.
but I bring it up and I'm like, I'm not a producer. This is just me throwing my hat in the ring and maybe they'll listen to me. There were times on this, especially because we were in such extreme circumstance, that I was like, no, this is a problem and we need to fix it right here because we're never going to be able to come back and shoot this again. And for them to listen and be like, okay, I don't know what you're talking about, but let's do it because we'll take your word for it.
Hmm.
Then it came to the edit and we've got the thing that I called out. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
this like a little superpower that I had. And a lot of it was just a lot of it mainly was story and emotional, not plot holes, but just
Hmm.
things like you say when you're giving art to that extreme level, you start
Right.
discovering other things, how you need to tie stuff together.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, there's no better person than the person actually doing it to be
Yeah.
able to.
No, it's wild how it shouldn't sort of it's wild how it feels like such a natural it feel as an actor, it feels so natural to also be a producer, because no one's living it but you.
Yeah,
And it's so important. And you have such a unique perspective too about, to your point, technical, emotional aspects to the film, technical aspects to the film. You're actually like living it and breathing it. So it
mhm.
feels like it feels natural. And I do think that you start to see it in the work when
You said
actors are
that.
you see it in the work, and it really excites me, and I feel like it's becoming more and more common. And I just think it's like, why not? I feel like it's like for so long we kind of kept all these departments in filmmaking so siloed from each other, and the communication just gets like mucky, and you're making one cohesive thing. It makes sense that everybody would have a say and would be able to kind of.
I'm in active dialogue with the different
Mhm.
departments during the day. I'm actively
Mhm.
talking to sound. I'm actively talking to lighting and hearing what their problem is, or and
Yeah.
I can hear all of it. So like when just being aware like that, because otherwise, like you're saying, your point is, I'll if I'm standing in the middle of the ice lake and suddenly I realize my walkie-talkie isn't in the right position,
Mhm.
kind of obvious, like I have the ability to call literal cut and be like, guys, like I'm missing something. Otherwise, it's like,
Right.
oh, they'll fix this in post or so,
Yeah. And then that gets in your head. And then you can't perform to your best because you're thinking about the
That's
walkie-talkie.
a walkie-talkie. Yeah,
It's all
exactly.
connected. It's all connected. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
it's really connected, and
Oh.
it feels good too because something I love doing is like making every department feel like they are being given the opportunity to have to best showcase their art because
Yes.
it's not just my movie. It's not like it. Like I said, you take me out of it, it's an amazing nature documentary. Each department still exists,
Yeah, yeah.
so they all deserve to showcase each aspect in, it's their work. They're putting their name behind it.
Hmm.
And then on top of that, just the final layer is, I'm an audience member myself. I love watching movies. I love watching, especially this is 100% my genre. I think any film of this type I have seen.
Yeah.
Um, and I'll just be like in a scene or watching something back on the monitor, be like, I don't like that. Let's do that again, because I just couldn't, and not in, again, not in a vanity way, not in like oh, I wanted this angle instead, but more just like, I didn't believe that, or
Yeah, as a fan. As a
as
fan.
a fan.
Yes. Oh,
So
well, oh, so
yeah,
sorry. Go
that
ahead.
no, no, no. Oh my God, I'm just chatting away. But I'm just saying that
Yeah.
input is really important,
Yeah.
especially now. Audience is so smart.
Hmm.
And you see all these, why didn't they do this, that, and the other? And I'm
Right.
like, how cool to be able to have like that person on set being
Yeah.
able, you know, sort stuff out then and there.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm sure you're such a joy to work with, and I just can't wait for you to continue producing, because it clearly makes the work better. And that's my time. But thank you so much for chatting with me today, Ella. This was lovely.
Really appreciate and the questions as well. So like insightful, and I hope it gets people excited to see this project that we really like just poured our heart and souls into. Like I think it's a performance that um I will be surprised if I find myself ever doing something like this again. So
Oh my gosh. Well, you should be so proud, but I think this is just the beginning. Like, I can't wait for all the other roles that you're going to step into after this. Just it's so exciting to watch. So, congratulations.
thank you.
Bye.